Hello friends, I hope you all are doing well. I am again coming up with another lecture that is very important for mains perspective, and this has been mentioned in this year syllabus of GS3 General Studies 3. It is part of very important subject, security. 50 marks questions directly or indirectly come from this particular subject, security, and in this there are many subtopics, and one of the subtopics which is highly ignored by the students. I want to tell about this topic so that you can have a kind of knowledge to handle any question which will be thrown at you in the mains examination. Seeing the unpredictability of prelims examination, there may not be any surprise if any question comes from security in the prelims examination also. So the topic name is various security forces and agencies and their mandate. So we will discuss mainly about various security forces. Agencies we will deal in a separate lecture that will have various agencies that work for ensuring security in the country. This lecture will mainly deal with various security forces. So classification. What is the classification of security forces in India? There are two kinds of forces. One is Indian Armed Forces that we know, Air Force, Navy and Army. Second is Central Armed Police Forces, also known as paramilitary. So Indian Armed Forces are further divided into Indian Air Force, Indian Navy and Indian Army. Indian Navy has three commands. That is Eastern Naval Command, that is situated in Visakhapatnam. Western Naval Command, situated in Mumbai, is the headquarter. Southern Naval Command, Kochi is the headquarter. Indian Navy's mandate is to secure India's maritime borders and interests. Then Indian Air Force. It is considered the fourth largest air force in the world. The primary responsibility of the Indian forces to secure the Indian airspace and to conduct aerial warfare during a conflict. Special forces are also there in a particular armed forces. Those are mandated for special actions in times of conflict, in times of one-on-one fight, and you have to suppress enemy air defense, a kind of search and rescue operations which are there for humanitarian evacuation and other processes. So for Indian Air Force, the special force is Garud Commando Force. This is the special force of Indian Air Force. Indian Army. Indian Army, also known as Bharatiya Thal Sena, is the land-based component of the armed forces. It is commanded by the Chief of Army Staff, and it is considered the second largest active army in the world. Special forces, just like Indian Air Force, Indian Army too has special force, and they are known as para-commandos. Para-commandos are the most well-known of the Indian Army special forces. It undertakes operations behind enemy lines, anti-terrorist operations, counter-insurgency missions, as well as rescue operations during disasters. Now we will talk about Central Armed Police Forces. The basic difference between Indian Armed Forces and Central Armed Police Forces is that Indian Armed Forces, they are under Defense Ministry. Central Armed Police Forces are under Home Ministry. There are certain exceptions to it, like Assam Rifles, which is part of Central Armed Police Forces but has dual control. We will discuss about that. Central Armed Forces were previously known as paramilitary force, but name was changed because there was a confusion because of paramilitary name. There are 7 Central Armed Police Forces. Each of these forces performs a separate function, and as I had said, they operate under Home Ministry. Each of the forces is led by an IPS officer, with the notable exception of Assam Rifles, which is headed by an army officer of the rank of Lieutenant General. List of paramilitary forces of India. First is Assam Rifles, then Border Security Force, CISF, CRPF, ITBP, NSG, National Security Guard, Sashastra Seema Bal, SSB. Assam Rifles. Assam Rifles was established back in 1835. You must have read about so many battles that were fought and treaties like Treaty of Sagoli, which was taken by the armed forces of Britain and the forces of Nepal and other mountainous kings and their army. So at that point of time, only Assam Rifles was established. The force plays a crucial role in Northeast India. They handle a lot of counter-insurgencies that had happened in a massive number in the past. Now also there are a lot of counter-insurgency operations that Assam Rifles have to do, and border security operations are also done by Assam Rifles. They are guarding 1,643 kilometers of long Indo-Myanmar border since 2002. You can also make one map and demarcate this border is guarded by which force, and if such question comes in the mains examination, draw that map. Half a marks extra you will get. It is often referred to as the Friends of the Hill people and Friends of the Northeast people. They are also known as Sentinels of the Northeast. It is the only paramilitary force with a dual control structure, that is, administrative control of Assam Rifles is with Ministry of Home Affairs, while the operational control is with the Ministry of Defense. How they will operate is controlled by Ministry of Defense. It remains the most awarded paramilitary force in both pre and post independent India, and they are known for their valor. Border Security Force. BSF is the border guards of the country and is called the India's first line of defense. It came into being in the wake of 1965 Indo-Pakistan War. It was established on 1st December 1965. It also undertakes defensive actions during wartime to free up Indian Army troops for offensive operations. They try to defend if any kind of action, any kind of aggression is shown by the enemy country, so that Indian Army is freed for doing offensive operation to launch massive retaliation, massive attacks on the enemy forces. Of late, the Border Security Force has also been tasked with assisting the Central Reserve Police Forces and Army in counter-insurgency operations. Now we will talk about CISF. You all would have seen CISF if you travel from Delhi Metro. If you go to any heritage site, you can easily observe. If you go to airport, you can easily observe Central Industrial Security Force personnel. It was established in 1969 under an Act of Parliament, Central Industrial Security Forces Act 1968. It provides integrated security cover to the public sector undertakings, special economic zones on a case-to-case basis. It is currently providing security cover to our nuclear installations, space establishment like ISRO, airports, seaports, power plants, sensitive government buildings. If you will go to Union Public Service Commission also, you can observe CISF, heritage monuments and large special economic zones. CISF is also responsible to provide protection to the personnel classified as Z+, ZXY. CRPF is also responsible and CISF is also responsible. Now we will talk about CRPF. CRPF was established by the enactment of the CRPF Act in 1949, just after the independence they were established. Initially it came into existence as Crown Representatives Police in 1939 for internal security. There is a precedence attached to it. The primary mission of the CRPF is counter-insurgency operations. You must have heard about CRPF going into the Maoist regions of the central India and doing counter-insurgency operations. Lots of casualty also happens. They have to face extreme dangers because the terrain is extremely uneven. There are a lot of forest, and the Maoists are quite familiar with the terrain, with the environment. CRPF personnel, most of them not belonging to that region, they face a lot of hardship to deal with them, but they show extreme valor and bravery to safeguard the Indian security. It also assists the state and union territories in police operations to maintain law and order. You must have seen if there is some kind of law and order situation. Recently, the Jahangirpuri, when there was a situation of communal tension between two different groups, CRPF was deployed there. Apart from this, the force participates as a police force in the UN peacekeeping missions. They are part of that. The CRPF maintains a special operation unit known as Commando Battalion for Resolute Action, Cobra. Cobra, you must have heard about that. To combat Maoist insurgents, a special force. Just like in the Indian Armed Forces, you have para commandos. In the Indian Air Force, you have Garud commandos. For CRPF, there is Cobra. ITBP, Indo-Tibetan Border Police. As the name suggests, they are responsible for guarding the Indo-Tibetan border. They were established on 24th October 1962, just after the Sino-India conflict or the Indo-China War. It was created under the CRPF Act. It guards the Indo-Tibetan border and the mountainous region of India-China border and monitors the northern borders. ITBP replaced Assam Rifles. They were guarding the Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh in 2004. But now Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, regions of Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, regions of Jammu and Kashmir. So from the Karakoram Pass to the Jechapla in Arunachal Pradesh, the complete border is guarded by Indo-Tibetan Border Police Force. It detects and prevents border violations. The force also keeps a check on illegal immigrations and trans-border smuggling. You all know the Golden Triangle, Golden Crescent, and you know the kind of drug trafficking, animal trafficking, human trafficking that happens across the cross-border region. It has been deployed in UN peacekeeping missions just like CRPF. Sashastra Seema Bal or SSB. The Sashastra Seema Bal was set up in March 1963. They guard Indo-Nepal as well as Indo-Bhutan border. So if you will visit Bhutan or Nepal, you will see SSB. They are also deployed during elections as polling booth security so that any kind of malpractices do not happen, any kind of law and order situation do not arise. If they arise, they can tackle that then and there. Its area of coverage includes 15 states. Previously, it was known as the Special Service Bureau, and they are deployed to control anti-national activities and inculcate feelings of national belonging in the border population, among others. It also acts against smuggling and other illegal activities like other forces. Special Forces of India. So apart from the special forces operating in Army, Navy and Air Force in the country, the Special Forces of India also have the following units reporting directly to the Home Ministry for counter-terrorism and VIP protection activities. When I say VIP protection activity, you must be remembering about a force that is known as SPG. We'll talk about that. NSG, National Security Guards. You must have heard about the name of Major Sandeep Unnikrishnan and his bravery and what he had done, what kind of heroic performance, heroic activity, whatever you tell, words will fall short what Major Sandeep Unnikrishnan sir had did on the day of 26/11. So we know about NSG because of that incident. It was established on 22nd September 1986. It is established to counter the surge of militancy in the country. It has a highly trained force, very highly trained force, which deals with exceptional situations when local police and special forces need assistance. So it was raised to combat terrorist activities and to guarantee the states do not experience any internal disturbances. Our country had faced so many internal disturbances. These were also the reason that India could not develop at a very fast pace. We had to deal with so much unfortunate situations. They played a crucial role in countering the 26/11 Mumbai terrorist attacks. SPG. It was raised in 1985 after assassination of our previous Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. The Special Protection Group is the most elite nodal protection agency in the country. It is an armed force of the Union for providing immediate security to the Prime Minister of India, the former Prime Minister, and members of their close family members. The SPG under the Cabinet Secretariat commences under Special Protection Group Act 1988. SPG does not recruit its employees directly, but rather draws its personnel from the RPF and various central armed police forces. SPG and its employees, even after their retirement, are excluded from the purview of Right to Information Act 2005. So immunity is provided to them. Not only that, if they will visit airport, they will visit any kind of sensitive institution, no checking will happen to these SPG personnels. They won't be checked for, they won't have to go for security checks. They are provided immunity for the same. And they are highly equipped. Any kind of alarming situations, they have advanced weapons, they are highly trained, so they can tackle any kind of unforeseen situation. So this was the lecture. I hope this will help you to revise this topic. It is important, and UPSC can directly ask a 15 marks question from this topic. Thank you so much.